Explosive new details that have come out in the Dateline report. Let's get into some Idaho 4 updates. Hi everyone, Power Ranger Crime Alex here. Bryan Kohberger has been accused of killing the Idaho 4 students on November 13th. He was indicted by a grand jury. Now let's talk about this Dateline episode that came out yesterday. Let me know if you watched it. I actually just finished watching it today. I'd been seeing people talking about it on Twitter and on other social media platforms. And so I watched it. A few things that stood out to me, and I'm not going to share it, but I'm going to just say like the 3 or 4 bits of information. If you want to watch it, then this spoiler alert, go to the end of the video. But so the few things that popped out to me. The first is that Dateline is saying they have a source that can confirm that Bryan Kohberger purchased the K-bar knife and purchased the knife sheath. Now, of course, the knife sheath is seen kind of like the smoking gun because there was touch DNA on the button of the knife sheath. And so they're confirming that he in fact bought that. Now, in the Dateline episode, it did say that he went to Pullman to do his PhD with the knife and the sheath. So that's really interesting. So then the second piece of information that I thought was really interesting that came out is that they talked about one of the experts that they were interviewing talked about progression. I like to call it escalation, and I want to do a whole episode about escalation. The idea of progression or escalation is that you don't just wake up and are a murderer, right? You don't just start being a killer. You start with smaller misdemeanors, other deviant activities. And they mentioned that one of Kohberger's friends in Washington, a female colleague, had found that there was like some things missing in her apartment and called. She had developed a friendship with Bryan and called him up, and he went over and decided to install surveillance system cameras I don't know if it was exactly in her house or outside, but either way, can you imagine? So that was a little bit interesting. That was creepy. Well, I was going to say a little creepy. It's a little creepy, right? If he has nefarious intentions. Now we don't know that. This is just allegedly, but the sources there also said that he is now a suspect in that incident. So that would be interesting to see if there is anything comes up from that. So that was the second. The third thing is that they mentioned the traffic stops that happened in Indiana on the way from Washington to Pennsylvania for his winter break, and that later on it was their sources, their officers, law enforcement sources said that those traffic stops are actually related to drug usage, finding people that have drugs or are on drugs. And what they were looking for is erratic behavior. So the fact that, if he had just done something like this, right? If he had actually just recently killed someone and had his issues leaving the Washington State University and he's driving home, this erratic behavior, was what was noticeable to the officers. In 2 separate incidences, he was stopped on the same day. Now, one thing, I don't know why they keep saying it, but they said it in the Dateline episode, and I've heard it said in other places. They keep saying it was 10 minutes apart. You can please fact check this and let me know in the comments. But I went back and I looked at it again. The first traffic stop based on the body cam says it was at 10:42 a.m. And the second traffic stop says that it was around 15:50. So that's around 3:50 p.m. So when they say it was 10 minutes apart, was it because maybe he stopped right after that first incident and then started driving again and then, at 3:50, and then that's why it was 10 minutes apart? But other than that, I don't understand why they keep saying that, because they are literally hours apart. And if he was going for Thai food, as he said in the first traffic stop, he probably went for lunch, let's say 11:30-ish or whatever. was there. Maybe they had a nice long lunch, bought some stuff at a convenience store, or maybe at a supermarket, and then we're on the road again in the afternoon, because then they got stopped again at 3:50. So I don't understand why they keep saying this, and it really bugs me. But so that's just a little rant right there. And the fourth thing that was really interesting is that they said that their sources say that one of Bryan Kohberger's sisters was actually suspicious of Bryan Kohberger wearing latex gloves around the house. She thought that was highly unusual. And so coupled with the latex gloves, coupled with the fact that he drove a white Elantra, and the fact that he was in Pullman, Washington, which is close to Moscow, Idaho, that she said that the family should consider that Bryan Kohberger may have killed the students. And so they actually went and looked for evidence in the Elantra. And that was before he was, of course, arrested a few days later at his parents' home there in Pennsylvania. And interestingly, the episode also said that the law enforcement officials had already seen or observed Bryan Kohberger cleaning his car with bleach. So any evidence that there might have been in the car might have been already, scrubbed away if he cleaned it with bleach. So those were 4 pieces of information. What did you think? If you watched the Dateline episode, is there something that popped out to you that I didn't mention, or what did you think of the ones that I did mention? Love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you learned something today, if you enjoyed this video, appreciate if you hit the thumbs up. Also, I'm really close to 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, I appreciate you joining the empowering family. So let's keep it empowering. Stay safe, stay thriving, and have a fabulous rest of your weekend. Bye for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button for notifications. Thank you.